Old Matt's gonna be your shadow. Here's you, here's Matt. There's you, there. Whoops-a-daisy, whoops-a-daisy. My God. We're gonna have to clean that up later. Me and my buddies, my pals, my amigos. I'm gonna get my gear.
I think we would all agree that there's a good amount of fatigue surrounding the coof, the daily grind that is anybody in mainstream media, the daily garbage from Hollywood, even YouTubers like myself talking about it is boring, is eye-rolling. It's easy to ignore at this point, where I don't even remember how many weeks were past to flatten the curve, but I try to remain unbiased and accepting of almost all opinions, around it. But I think we could all agree that the television doctors and the television military personnel and the television, celebrities talking about it we've all had enough of it. We've all had enough of Madonna talking her stuff. We've all had enough of, Gal Gadot and all these other people. One person that really a lot of people are had enough of too is Dr. Anthony Fauci. Now, they released a trailer back on August 31st that flew relatively under the radar, meaning it has 490,000 views and just 7,000 upvotes. How many downvotes is that? Oh, 103,000 downvotes. I think we could all agree that this man has become way too much a part of all of our day-to-day lives. Seeing him on TV, hearing in the newspaper that what he says I can and can't do. Today he finally said, hey, kids can go trick-or-treating. Thanks, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Didn't ask. But even those who are a little more, a little like him a little bit more, even they're getting sick of it. And I think we can all agree that the Fauci bobblehead dolls that you could buy for $25 is a little cringe. And they allow that. I like how they allow 4 interest-free payments for Fauci bobblehead dolls. Apparently they needed that money. I'm not exactly sure. But now the documentary is out, and it's being absolutely savaged. And we're going to take a look at some of the reviews because it's hilarious. Rotten Tomatoes audiences ignore Fauci documentary. The one audience review called the documentary severely lacking. And it currently is sitting at a 4%. 4. Not like 4D, not even 14, not 24. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. 4%. Well, compared to a 91% critic score. I'm sure that they've changed since then. They haven't. 4% with over 250 ratings, a 91% from the paid critics. And why are we giving this guy a documentary? Is this over? Like, okay, let me just let's just speak about this from like a film perspective. This is like giving a documentary to Kurt Cobain when they released In Utero. Like, his story's not over yet. Why is he getting a documentary? And I think it's really bizarre how many people like deify this man and act like, he's the best thing ever. It was directed by John Hoffman and Janet Tobias. Fauci has been in select theaters. Imagine paying to go to the theater to see this. Except that since the 10th of September, it started streaming October 6th on Disney+. The film features interviews with Fauci as well as his wife, Christine, and daughter, Jenny. I thought they were busy. Figures ranging from former President George W. Bush, Susan Rice, Bill Gates, and Bono. What's a who's who of who cares? Rotten Tomatoes aggregates reviews from both professional critics and online users, was conspicuously lacking in audience reviews for Fauci as of Sunday. The only audience reviews was from Justin B., who gave the movie 2.5 stars out of 5. While the film had some interesting backstory regarding Fauci's career and family history, as a documentary, it was severely lacking. While it is a challenge to give a truly analytical and unbiased assessment, the producers here don't even try. They have some background noise of people saying mean things about Fauci, and then make clear those are unfair, and then go about interviewing only people who fawn all over him. There are no interviews of anyone who questions the quality of his job he's done. There's no real assessment of the quality of his tenure. During the COOF, the review continued. Most professional critics, by contrast, lauded the film and its subject. Fauci is a refreshing figure and standard bearer for the truth, wrote a critic from The Guardian. The subject comes away smelling of roses, and it seems deserved this time. Brian Lowry, a critic for CNN.com, Fauci makes no pretense about where its sentiments lie, lauding a figure whose critics have seemingly twisted his image beyond recognition in their attempts to demonize him. I don't think he's a demon, but I don't think he's awesome at his job. I think there are things that he did in the past that are questionable, and the fact that it isn't in the documentary is curious. Why is Disney essentially producing propaganda for a TV doctor? At the writing of this article, it was at 74,000 downvotes, by the way. It's picked up another 40,000 since its release. I mean, I don't even understand. And now we look at Rotten Tomatoes, which now, again, has a 4%. 4. Calling this a documentary is an insult to documentaries. This was 1.5 hours of propaganda puff piece that failed to address any legitimate criticisms of Fauci. 1 star. It wasn't crazy to see this as an idea, but it wasn't investigative. Didn't touch on funding, didn't do anything. Here's 1 star. This documentary nobody wanted. Lots of archival clips and interviews, propaganda in its purest form. National Geographic documentary on Disney Plus has the same feel as a Disney-produced World War II propaganda film. Prediction, critics are going to love it. Regular Joes like me will hate it. 0.5 star. This isn't even a documentary in the slightest. It presents this one-dimensional view of Fauci. It feels very much like propaganda piece for those who have lost faith in him because of his constant contradictions. Now, I understand that things do change, right? Things change. People's opinions change. I think it would be unrealistic to expect somebody to be 100% correct all the time with such a fluid situation as such we've had. That said, this is pretty rough. I mean, even if you look at some of the top comments in the video, 47,000 dislikes to 3,500 likes. That is the silent majority. He needs to go. People have had enough of him. How about you just do your job? You know, why do these people need to be on TV? That's always makes me very suspicious. You see, this is quite obviously a political propaganda film, not a documentary. Never has someone been so wrong and kept their job. Missed the whole part where you predicted the surprise outbreak in 2017. I mean, the reviews are just coming in. If the like to dislike button was disabled, we wouldn't even see the real truth. Lamau, he's been so wrong. Is this a horror movie? I mean, like, there's not a single positive comment that I could find buried anywhere. Let's go to IMDb. You think it's just, you know, YouTube is right-leaning. I don't know. It seems unlikely. It currently has a 1.5 star review. 1.5. And 6.2 thousand reviews of it. I mean, I don't even know where, I mean, men and women agree. We look at some of the demographics. Males hate it. Women also hate it. These top demographics all hate it. Everybody hates. Here, Fauci is the movie star. Fauci is a documentary that presents a career of a director, blah, blah, blah. The documentary presents a one-sided view of him. It doesn't even present a fair view of the man. We also get to see numerous people provide feedback about working with him, like George W. Bush, Susan Rice, Bono, and Bill Gates. His family members, like his wife, Christine, and daughter, Jenny, who both feel disappointment and lack of appreciation towards a man who's done decades of work. Fauci is getting more powerful. A must-watch pathological study. As expected, propaganda. Feels like you're watching the devil tell you how good he is for stealing your soul. So much hate for a man that has literally saved millions. 10 out of 10. There you go. There's somebody. Some rich guy with rich friends. Meh, but IMDb should really do something about fake reviews. You know, obviously there's a lot of people in here who are just leaving reviews, you know, because they strongly dislike him. But the argument against that is, where are all the reviews that love the man? Where are all the reviews that say this thing's awesome? Because quite frankly, they don't exist. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you click that red subscribe button down below. And we'll talk to you again real soon.